Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're out here. Some Dota 2. Just have ourselves some Chinese Dota action happening right now with incredible Invictus Gaming, Vitality taking on Winning Gaming. Is it Winning Gaming? I think it is Winning Gaming, right? Yeah, it should be. Winning Gaming is the ones that are playing right now on the dire side. IGV are all the way on the Radiant, trying to make things happen from their perspective there. Heroes into thus far, I've actually been seeing IGV doing pretty well recently. They just won a team fight not too long ago, off of the back of one of these chronospheres levied out by the Faceless Void. But so far, they're not really finding themselves in any kind of situation where I personally feel that they should be very happy with this set of affairs. There's nothing happened that they'll be sad about. It's just gonna be good old-fashioned Dota for them for now. They're gonna get another kill onto Air down at bottom. Back in the day, Air had some of the sickest brewmaster in the world. Times have changed right now. But he's still out here. They're going to try and take down this tier 1 tower at bottom. Pugna should be the one that able to get that at the very end. I think they can just keep pushing, honestly. There's no way they can get stopped right now. The strongest hero on the side of Winning Gaming's lineup at the moment is this DeathBringer by Air. And he just got brought down. And he is actually their tankiest hero with this Blade Mail, Ogre Club, as well as a Bracer. And they're just going to lose Dazzle. Like, without the Shallow Grave, Dazzle would have been 100% dead right now. They're going to try and cancel out the escape from the Pugna. But it looks like they actually managed to spook them away. I'm very, very surprised that they actually chose to back off from that one. But they commit the Moonlight Shadow, they escape. Butterfly Effect. I feel like when you have 10k net worth as Morana, and you're about to have BKB with Maelstrom, with Dragon Lance, double Wraith Band, all at 22 minutes, you're very happy with the state of affairs. They could actually pick up this regen rune and try to go straight for the Roshan right now. Are they going to attempt it? Or are they just going to first try to get some other kills elsewhere? I think it depends on what Void wants to do. Void still wants to farm somewhat, because he has this Battle Fury. But look at the distribution of gold of the top 3 heroes on the side of... Oh wait, actually I need to just quickly put this up. Just let people know I'm casting right now. There we go. Okay, here we go. There is going to be Rod of Atos onto the DeathBringer. Yeah, Echo Stomp will catch onto 3 heroes, in fact. The arrow will thread the needle, go through all of them in the middle. However, there is a possibility that they're just going to use this as an opportunity to escape, and that does seem to be the case. The Rubik, though, will not be so lucky. Ends up stealing away the Boulder Smash. So we do see the Doom going out onto the Faceless Void. They're going to now lose the Rubik. Erstwhile, the Tiny got brought down on the backline of the fight. The jump in from Morana, arrow doesn't latch onto anybody, nor does the rolling boulder through. The Weaver flying onto the Pugna with the bugs on him as well. They're gonna try to get this vision. Erstwhile, Dazzle forced to use the Shallow Grave on himself. Weaver can't get the kill onto Pugna because Pugna just gonna try to TP away, but the Chronosphere coming in from the Void will catch Pugna, but it'll also catch out the Faceless Void, killing the bug and keeping the Skeleton Man alive. They're not done just yet either. Road of Atos going out directly onto the DeathBringer. Lots of right clicks to follow that up with. The Elder Titan is out here with this item, managing to secure yet another kill for the Pugna, and because Pugna used Life Drain for that one, gets additional HP back in the offing, doesn't have to go home just yet. They can march down the mid lane and use that Nether Blast in order to secure another tier 2 tower for themselves. Things are looking really good for the side of IG Vitality. Not so hot at all for Winning Gaming, and BKB has just emerged for Butterfly Effect. Full BKB treads Atos with the Maelstrom on the Morana. The Faceless Void almost has BKB of his own, 1,000 gold away more or less. And Pugna just wants to secure that Blink Dagger after being able to ensure that he has the 3rd level into the Dagon. And they still don't have really any defensive items here on the side of Winning Gaming. They have, what, Sange and Blade Mail on DeathBringer. I guess that's okay. Weaver doesn't have Linkins or BKB, trying to build BKB right now. And the Tiny only has Blink Echo Saber. So with this itemization that Winning Gaming has, it's actually very, very important that they're the ones that end up in a situation where they are not losing fights, because that's all really they can do with their itemization right now. They can't really hold off into the late game and expect to be able to hyper farm their way back into this. Just not going to work that way. Arrow now. Ooh, the arrow lands onto Tiny. That is a shocker. That's terrible. The Echo Stomp will land onto Tiny as well. This is really horrendous. The BKB will be popped now by the Morana, going on to Moab. Moab will be dragged back by the ET splitter. The Shallow Grave will save you, but not for long. We do see Air as well getting the life sucked out of him by the Pugna. Is he going to lose his life? ET, one more swipe will kill him. In fact, it's just going to be a jump around with the Fate Bolt that gets the kill, and they bring down Tiny as well on the backside of the fight. The lift onto the Rubik. Rubik is going to be able to get the time-lapse steal, or just a swarm steal as the time-lapse goes in to save the Rubik's life, or the Weaver's life. Morana goes, fights against the Earth Spirit. Magnetize will kill the Morana though. So that's a huge influx of gold towards the Earth Spirit. But still, end of the day, they lose 4 heroes. Only a single one dies on the side of Invictus Gaming Vitality. Well, yeah, Aegis now on the Void. He might actually reconsider even buying this BKB directly. Because it's like, whatever, if I have this item, like the Aegis with the Immortal, do I still need the secondary defensive one? He's still gonna get it, just to make sure. And now he is genuinely unkillable. They can take any fight right now. They're gonna probably, what item are they waiting for? They're just gonna wait for this Morana to come back, go finish off this tier 2 tower at bottom, and then think about how they're gonna breach the high ground. As it stands right now, honestly, fighting outside of the close confines of this Roshan area where the fight can get split into multiple separate directions. Say, for example, they can isolate the Morana. Say for scenarios like that, a full 5v5 team fight, I actually don't see a possible way that Winning Gaming can take these fights. Just these team fight odds are too big. ET Splitter, the Chronosphere, this Nether Ward from Pugna really is complicated to deal with in the team fight because you have so many spellcasters on your team. Like, imagine Earth Spirit, Tiny, Dazzle, or the Doombringer not casting spells. These heroes need to be using their magic. We see now Lift going out onto the Doombringer. He's going to find himself getting drained to death. Activates the Blade Mail to survive a bit longer. But unfortunately, Django on the Rubik able to secure the kill onto him. And now we see the ET gets the Echo Stomp onto the high ground. BKB pop by the faces for a 3-man Chronosphere coming out with the ET Spirit flowing into the Chronosphere as well. All of these heroes brought into close vicinity. They've already lost the Earth Spirit. Doom will fire out now onto the Faceless Void. He's already committed the Chronosphere though, and he's still fighting, trying to bring down the Tiny. Tiny is going to end up surviving through this. Buybacks will be there coming in from Winning Gaming to try and salvage this fight, but they're going to lose air very first. Django bring him down with the Fate Bolt. The roll forward coming in from the Earth Spirit to try and keep this fight going. He's not going to be able to succeed. They do bring down the Morana, however, but the turnaround from the Earth Spirit will not be there. He gets died back upon as well. Triple kill at the end of the day for the Faceless Void. And that's it. They call it. GG, well played. And it is going to be Invictus Gaming Vitality that end up taking the victory right now over Winning Gaming. And making it look easy. Well, yeah, actually they made that look easy, honestly. That was, they swagged all over them right there. And at the end of the day, I think it's one of those wins where if I'm IGV, you don't learn that much. If I'm Winning Gaming, I haven't learned that much. It's just like, well, whatever. Draft better team fight, bro. Don't allow this shit to happen again. So that is that game. GG. And we're going to be going next. The next game is going to be Invictus Gaming Vitality taking on the side of DeathBringer Gaming. The lobby's already up for that one. But do not despair. We'll be, well, just waiting for it, honestly. Like, not really much else we can do at the moment. Yeah, so keep it locked, a couple of minutes away from that next lobby being underway, and then we'll be seeing more Dota 2 action here on the space. So keep it locked right here. If you haven't already, if it's your first time around, please make sure to follow the channel. Make sure that you say hi in the chat, you know, greet and everything like that. And also make sure that you, if you can, if you have the ability, buy a subscription, buy some bits, you know, put a donation onto that PayPal. But it's completely up to you, only if you have the ability. For now, let's just keep it locked for a couple of minutes while we wait for the next set of games to start. So IGV versus DeathBringer Gaming coming up next here in the ANGGAME versus C versus China Gaming Championship. We'll be right back in just a second. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to game number 1 between DeathBringer Gaming and IG Vitality in the group stages of the ANGGAME China vs. C Chinese qualifiers, where the top 4 teams to come through these group stages will advance to the actual playoffs, whereas everybody else gets kicked the hell out. So we have ourselves at the moment 8 teams trying to compete for their place in the top 4. Thus far, both of these teams, DeathBringer Gaming as well as IGV, I think are towards the upper half, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. I don't know. IGV just bodied Winning Gaming 2-0 just now. So we'll see if they can bring similar luck to bear versus DeathBringer Gaming, who's been having a pretty solid season so far. You know, some adjustments that they've made that have cashed out positively for them. But we'll see where this ends up going. I'm Snare. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being out here, guys. So we are now looking towards these draws. DeathBringer Gaming in the radiant corner of the map right now. As the other side, we see that IGV will be playing on the Dire. And the important thing to note thus far already is that Magnus has gone through. PA is still unpicked. Jug is still unpicked. DeathBringer banned the Elder Titan Undying as well as the Beastmaster. IGV took out the Wisp, Centaur, and Tusk. Honestly, if I'm DeathBringer, just pick PA and see what happens. PA Mag, Jesus. IGV now have a really rough time trying to address this and deal with this. They go for the Jakiro to lead things off with, followed up by the Dazzle. So they have greater prowess, like long drawn out team fights, some beefy heroes in their supports already. I also really like Dazzle being picked with other heroes that have mass slows. Because with Liquid Fire and Dual Breath on you, you get slowed down so much that you can pretty much guarantee that Dazzle's Poison Touch gets permanently refreshed and goes nowhere. So you kind of have to be very, very, very worried about that at all stages of the game.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I really like the Terrorblade pick, and the primary reason is because one of the better combos with the Magnus is the Juggernaut that can come out from DeathBringer. And in this situation, you don't really want to pick... Oh, they actually go for the Jug. Okay, I'm surprised they actually do that. Because TB is very good against Juggernaut. You can deal damage to the hero while he's in spin mode with the mass physical damage from the Terrorblade. Don't really care about the magical immunity that hero gains. You have illusions to summon, which can soak up some of the Omni Slashes for you. And you just push for just a better carry late game than the Juggernaut is. They still go for it though for DeathBringer Gaming. This is one of the better combinations with the Magnus in the absence of the Phantom Assassin being available. So I can understand why they did this. This makes sense to me. I can see why this move would be the desired lateral move. Currently, right now, I kind of feel like IGV does need a kind of hero. Excuse me. They need a hero like Brewmaster or something in the off lane. Because they don't have any teamfight anchor right now on the side of IGV. Somebody that can run interference in the backlines of the fight, enable Jakiro to be able to lay out ice paths, enable Terrorblade. You know, someone can just sit in front of everybody. Centaur would have been really nice, so the Beastmaster, but both of heroes have been banned out in the first phase already. They get the Tiny instead to do the job for them. I suppose I'm okay with this. Oh no. Oh no. Grimstroke Shaman. Ugh, that's so disgusting. I'm marginally fine with this Tiny pick from IGV. I've been liking this hero less and less the more I've been seeing it lately. However, I do think this is the kind of game where you just need somebody to jump in, honestly, for the rest of your team. Whether that hero even lives or dies is irrelevant, but because there's a Dazzle behind him, Tiny is less likely to die in this instance. And Dazzle can just save the heals in order to be able to use on the Terrorblade, allow him to get the Sunder off at the end of the day. DBG with this Grimstroke pickup, so more slow for them, which they didn't really have before this. The Soulbind can be really nice against Terrorblade. Just being able to prevent some movements in general, because before they were very much wholesale relying on Magnus for their team fight. This gives them some options. What's the mid hero? Timbersaw. Timber mid versus Terrorblade and Tiny. And there's not that much burst damage on the side of IGV right now. What do they have to deal with this Timbersaw? They have exactly what? They have one lockdown with the Tiny. Jakiro, it's very unlikely for the most part that Jakiro ever gets an Ice Path off onto the Timbersaw. But even after Ice Path gets out, very easy for Timbersaw to just Timber Chain away. Doesn't have to concern himself about Dual Breath or Macropire. Before this Ember, the only set of magical burst damage they had available to them was this Tiny with the Avalanche Toss combination. Now though, they at the very least do have Ember Spirit to deal with this Timber in some ways. But still, I actually kind of I can still see Timbersaw working quite well versus Ember Spirit. It is one of the better heroes against it though. Searing Chains prevents the Timber Chain from being used. Like I said, burst damage from the Flame Remnants as well as the Flame God to be able to deal with the reactive armor from Timbersaw. And a way to keep him in position so that Terrorblade can close the gap and try to deal out some physical damage. Not a hero that's terrible against Juggernaut, because it's kind of hard for Jug to be able to keep damage going onto this Ember Spirit, given that if you have a single Remnant, any of Juggernaut's spells are useless. And they also don't have that much lockdown for this Ember Spirit. All they have is the Hex. They have Hex, they have the Magnus Ultimate, as well as Shackles, I suppose, but no Ember Spirit worth their salt should ever be caught out by the Shackles. We'll see. Probably going to be the kind of game where Ember buys like Yule's Lincolns or something. Yule's or Lincolns here. I'm not sure which is going to come first, but one of those items is definitely required in this instance.
You should have known better. Oh, that is too good.
Alright, Butterfly Effect heading towards the mid lane. He's going to be rolling around on Ember Spirit. One of the things I actually really want to see in this kind of situation, right? I'm really hoping that this is the kind of game where we actually see them moving around with this Ember Spirit. I've been seeing a lot more farmy Ember Spirits, and I really don't like it. I like this hero getting out there. You know, if you're going to build an item first, you build Yule's first, you build Lincoln's first, you build Blink first. Maybe a Yasha, but always going to be building items that allow you to move across the map and do stuff. Especially like the Yule Scepter. Looks like they want to try and perhaps run an aggro tri-lane at bottom, unless Jakiro is just sticking around to ensure that they can get this bounty rune. And that might actually be the case. Oh, they're actually swapping on the side of IGV. They're going to be running around and putting the Rasta with the Grimstroke at top. Both of them will be here to support the Juggernaut, whilst they give Magnus the space at bottom to farm there. Get as many levels as possible for him. Put points into the Empower. He actually got it at level 1. I like the idea of getting Empower level 1. It sort of like allows the hero to basically function as a Tiny with this tree, except for longer periods of time. Much easier to be able to get off your last hits. Now we'll see how this game pans out for him. Magnus already has the Empower on himself. Going to start being able to farm quite easily here. And at bottom, he's going to be going up against the Dazzle, who wants to swap lanes, it seems. So I don't think they want the Tiny here. Terrorblade is already heading down towards the bottom side of the map to match up against the Magnus. They do not want the TB playing against the Jug early on, at least against the tri lane. Want to give him some space to be able to farm. In the mid lane, we do see the Timbersaw versus the Ember Spirit. This is kind of a wash, this matchup. I do kind of feel like Timbersaw does better, or has an easier time farming, but I think there'll maybe be a couple of CS difference between the two, because you can also farm with the Flame God as the Ember Spirit. So we'll see. I expect this to be a very close wash. Inkswell will land at top onto the Tiny as he was heading towards the top side of the map with this rotation. This is kind of a big loss. It's a lot of time that Tiny spent moving here. Still level 1 at the moment. He didn't want to have to commit the teleport just in case the enemy team just immediately followed him. And now he's actually going to die. Going to get shackled up immediately as he shows up to the lane. Going to be first blood to the spinning Juggernaut. And Kama for DeathBringer Gaming will be able to secure the first kill. Having this here at top, Tiny will have to come back into this one. But now coming back a full level behind. A lot of farm behind as well. Juggernaut is now 7-4. The Tiny has just picked up his first CS of the game. So pretty rough scenario, pretty rough situation. Actually, just gonna swap. They really want this Tiny at bottom. Like, they really don't want to have Juggernaut versus Tiny. And now that Tiny is TP'd to the top lane after dying, they kind of have to commit for this move. Terrorblade won't really have a place to go unless they decide they want to sack the Tiny overall. And I think TB's gotten enough CS down here at bottom that they should just leave this as it is. Just accept Tiny might have a bit of a... This laning phase might be a bit rougher than normal, but shouldn't really be too concerned about it. Mid lane, like I said, Timber has a little bit of a better time, but Ember Spirit is still okay. Doesn't have to be too worried here. I really feel like they, on the side of IGV, all they have to do is just not fuck up this early game. As long as they don't let this game go too late and allow the Terrorblade and Ember Spirit to actually come online. Once this laning phase breaks down, they need to play very actively across the map, but thus far in the laning phase itself, things have gone fine. Tiny has caught up in the CS department somewhat, perhaps not in experience, but it's early days. He'll be fine. There shouldn't be any major concerns about what might happen down the line in the stretch. Tiny now goes in, throws out the avalanche. It only micro stuns Dolem a couple of times, but he's still okay. He's gonna be able to shake it off. He's gonna Tyler Swift this shit. Just shake it off, move on, my friend. Don't worry about it. See Inkswell at top landing onto the Jakiro. It's not really gonna meet out anything. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Dolem on this Magnus, just grabbing himself a pretty big creep wave. Should be able to get level 4.5 off of this after he farms it underneath his own tier 1 tower. At the same time, he's probably setting up to try and pick up these bounty runes soon. It's a minute to go, so we have to be very aware of what's going to be happening there. You see down here, Terrorblade left to his own devices versus the Timbersaw, versus the Juggernaut rather, still been doing quite fine. Mid lane, we might have a kill onto a butterfly effect. Had the rotation from our Shadow Shaman come in a second before. Okay, it just came in time. The Shackles, the long range, still manages to catch out the Ember Spirit. Does end up losing his life. Gives it away to the Timbersaw. Seems he got a bit greedy trying to go for that double damage rune. He does not have a bottle just yet, so that's going to set him back quite heftily. He's going to be a full level behind right now on the Timbersaw. And more so than that, it's going to put him in a position where he's not going to have a bottle for quite some time. At bottom, we saw that the Juggernaut, they get the kill onto TB. Man, this early game is going badly. They just lost 2 core heroes in the space of 30 seconds for the side of the DeathBringer Gaming lineup. And because they lost that Terrorblade where they did, it sets them up to be able to lose the bounty rune almost immediately afterwards. So they only get a single bounty. Django on the Jakiro here being the only one to pick that up at the end. Oh, sorry, it's the other way around. IGV's on... I was like, what's Django doing here? IGV's playing on Dire side, and then DeathBringer's playing on Radiant. So DeathBringer is the one that are having a fantastic early game at the moment. They're going to try to keep this going. They're rotating this Grimstroke around into the mid lane. And they're actually going to get this kill. Butterfly Effect is dead. Stroke Effect is going to catch him out. He's going to be slowed massively by this. Inkswell being triggered out right now on the Grimstroke. He starts to close the gap, open the space, and he does so. And now they also get the Shackles out onto Dazzle. Bad has rotated in. He does not have the Shallow Grave ready. At the very least, doesn't have time to cast it before losing his life. And the Grimstroke, great rotation from him, enabling him to get a kill on the Ember Spirit, as well as bringing down the Dazzle. They do lose Guvara on the Magnus at the top side of the map, getting dove underneath the tier 1 tower. But I don't think they'll care too much about this. Look where the Timbersaw is going to be doing now. He's going to be creepscaping with this level 3 reactive armor, as well as having the Chakram available for himself, closing off access to farm in the mid lane from this Ember Spirit. So Ember's going to be forced to move bottom. They're going to be forced to take the Terrorblade into the jungle. Just a lot of moves that they're going to be committed to across the map that they otherwise might not have made. So at the moment, it does kind of feel like we have DeathBringer Gaming really having a stranglehold on this game. And that's before we even mention the fact that this is a Magnus with a Juggernaut in tow. Jug's just been completely free farming at bottom. And you can tell that they want to play a very aggressive style and they want to play with this Timbersaw as this hero is hitting his power peak. Because they're building these drums on the Juggernaut instead of going for the traditional Yasha that we see being rushed after the phase boots are complete on this hero. Alright, so we got the G-Core. Gonna be doing it. Oops, why am I getting echo, bro? We see Butterfly Effect die. Why did he come back middle? Did I not just say that you can't go for middle, bro? That if you come middle, you will die. Oh my god. Well, he went middle and he died. So that's on him. That's 100% on him. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there, actually. I have no idea what the plan was there, guys, but he ends up losing his life there. Yeah. Now he's dead. Now he is dead. And they're going to lose his tier 1 tower at bottom. And at the end of the day, they still haven't actually been able to find farm for their heroes. Terrorblade does have like pretty decent CS, I suppose, but his net worth is really not up to scratch. He's 1,000 net worth behind where this Juggernaut is right now. And Juggernaut's about to extend that lead by claiming the tier 1 tower in the bottom. Almost complete with these drums of endurance. Upon completion, where they can just roll with the team. It's going to come out around the same time that we see these arcane boots being there for the Magnus. They can buy arcanes with a smoke of deceit, head out across the map, try to see if they can make something happen. Jug's just picking up, wait, no, it's a Grimstroke item, sorry. No crown for the Juggernaut just yet. Top lane, we do see that the Tiny forced to retreat back to base before he's even able to complete level 6 to pick up the Grow. Harassed out wholesale by the Timbersaw here. So DeathBringer Gaming getting this push going in the top lane. He's just going to creepscape until the tower falls. So a level 4 reactive armor, what does he have to be afraid of? You know that a Timbersaw is having a phenomenal game when he's 3-0-1 before he has a single point into the Timber Chain. And once he has Timber Chain, let's not forget that there's a Grimstroke in this game. So you Inkswell onto the Timbersaw Timber Chains through, guarantees that the stun is going to be landing onto somebody, and there's no way that they can stop it. Just like there's no way they can stop the take of this tier 1 tower in the top lane. Tiny just wants some experience. Will he be denied this? Okay, he gets a little bit of experience, at least gets level 6. Has the Grow right now. And they are coming for the Timbersaw. Do they have... Oh, they get the deny at the very end of it. There's going to be the Sunder coming out. Ice Path with everything laid out onto the Timbersaw. Timbersaw does die. That's the whole team in the top lane to get this kill. And they're going to be looking towards getting the Grimstroke as well. Sua will die too. And they literally brought the whole team for this, but they succeed in being able to bring down the super big Timbersaw. Who got the kill? It was the Tiny that got the kill. So that helps him a little bit. Hey, thanks a lot, fam. Can you do me a favor, FJ? If you haven't already, just make sure to follow the channel, bro. And let your friends know that we're out here. But thank you. I appreciate that. So, Timbersaw, now they want to try and turn the tides. He just has respawn. Stroke of Fate actually connect onto the tiny, not the tiny, the Terrorblade over the trees, and there's no Sunder left, so definite kill going on to our Terrorblade. Phantom's Embrace now catching onto the Dazzle to silence him up, prevent any casting of the Shallow Grave. There was a destruction of the Phantom's Embrace first and foremost before the Shackles even connected, but that will not save the life of our Dazzle. They go down to ground, giving a double kill for Kestel on the Rasta. So Mr. Firefly here now cracks level 6 because of it, and they might be able to transition that level 6 into putting pressure onto one of these tier 2 towers. At bottom, speaking of tier 2s, Juggernaut was fighting nearby one a few seconds ago. Ends up spinning. Did he just TP out? Not even spin TP. Oh my god. He still has spin off cooldown. And now here's where the game begins. Juggernaut being given level 4 on power. Yeah. They need to start stacking these camps. They also just need to involve Juggernaut in the game. They're going to smoke him up right now. Already we see that the massive weapons are going to get dropped down on that tier 2 tower, like we were just saying. But however, the positioning of this Timbersaw right now, right, because they know that he's actually unkillable by this tier 2 tower doesn't do any damage to him, right? So as long as he's in range and taking away the pot shots from this. Oh no, hold that thought. There's going to be Shackles going on to Butterfly Effect. Can they get the kill? Phantom's Embrace onto the Dazzle so they can be no Shallow Grave. They get the kill first and foremost onto Dazzle. Butterfly Effect trying to run around onto the other side. He zips back to safety and he will be okay. However, they lose the tier 2 tower. Firefly picks that up with the mass open wards. And look at this, a stack that was made for the Terrorblade gets juicily taken away by the Juggernaut. He still has some power on him thanks to this Magnus. So a lot of gold has now caught up to the Timbersaw at the top of the net worth charts. Alright, so we bet DB first blood. They did get first blood. DB first to 10. They're definitely going to get first to 10. And they're probably going to win as well. So unfortunately, that's not going to be fun on that score for your bet. But yeah. How about sweep, bro? Oh, actually, what you can do, just follow the channel, bro. I'm not even gonna make you work and say you have to do 1, 2, 3. Just pop a follow, bro. That's all. Hey, thanks a lot, my G. Oh wait, sweet. That also reminds me I need to put on the correct overflow. Thanks for the follow, fam. I appreciate it. And Happy New Year, by the way. All right, so looking at this game right now, we do see that our homies out here on the side of IGV have just smoked as 3, Terrorblade, Tiny, as well as the Jakiro. They want to try and engage with this Blink Dagger that they've just recently picked up. And they know Orochi is happening right now, but I'm not sure if they know about it. Doesn't seem like they do. They're going to jump in at middle, look towards bringing down the Rasta, and Rasta may just die here. Skewer dragging the Tiny out of the way of the river. There's going to be mass weapon walls drop down in the midst of the river with the Phantom's Embrace as well out onto the Tiny. And Tiny, they may have just revealed this Blink Dagger on the Tiny, but absolutely, actually no, that was fine. That was worth it. Because sure, Tiny dies, but they also forced the mass serpent wards, because I'm sure that the Rasta, he thought to himself that this fight was going to end up being bigger than it ended up being. So as shitty as that is for IG Vitality, honestly, it could have been much worse. So, and this time that they're taking to do this Roche, this is not the, okay, never mind, that was before Empower. Empower now is going to make this a lot faster. In the absence of Empower, this buys them a lot of time. I would have liked to see them being at bottom with this Terrorblade, using the Metamorphosis to try and push down this tower. Butterfly Effect is going to be the one that shows up here. He went for the BTs level 1. First item BTs. I suppose in this kind of game where your priority is going to be trying to split the map so you can actually create space to come back into this one, because you know that you're very, very far behind. Perhaps the BTs can work out, but I don't know. I feel like you need an item that's actually going to help you, even if you're on your own high ground trying to take fights. And I really feel like Yule Scepter should have been the decision here. Not only is it good on Ember Spirit because it gives you all the things Ember Spirit wants, mobility, mana. It gives you that Cyclone, which is very good for setting up fights. It also makes you invulnerable against Juggernaut. Jug cannot find you and solo kill you. You can open up space for yourself to escape if you get jumped on by a Timbersaw. Hell, if you're fast enough on the fingers and you have quick cast on your item, you can even dodge RPs. Speaking of RPs, it now does go out here, down at bottom, onto the Tiny. Tiny's gonna get immediately destroyed right now. No space, no time for a shallow grave. And they are on the high ground. DeathBringer Gaming want to take the first game here in this best of 2 set versus Invictus Gaming Vitality. And already looking poised to do so. They are beating down onto the tier 3 tower. The huge ice path actually coming out from the Jakiro, but now the level 2 mass circles get dropped down as well. Oh, they're only level 1. Terrorblade forced to run away. This is actually good. This is a good defense. They didn't lose a tier 3 tower. It's not in deny range. They forced the enemy to use mass circles. They forced the enemy to use RP. And the only ultimate they cast out in response is the macro pyre from the Jakiro. So Invictus Gaming Vitality shouldn't be too upset at that. They show they are still 8k gold behind in terms of the net worth, make that 9. But you haven't lost any buildings that really matter that much towards your team. So, oh no, Tiny with Ember Spirit. There's the burst damage that we wanted. They finally do bring down the Aegis. That's a pretty big deal. There was a 3-minute Aegis still left, so a huge amount of time that DeathBringer Gaming could have made use of that Aegis in order to get some positive gains across the map. Clear out the last tier 3. I'm sure they would have liked to have spent the Aegis, you know, suiciding on the high ground to get the tier 3 tower so they can get shrines thereafter. Mid lane though, Sua's gonna die. Butterfly Effect should pick up this kill with the Flame Guard. Good money to be picked up. You should just leave. Oh, but Shaman doesn't have the TP out, so fairly dangerous place to be. It's unlikely they're gonna try and scan or over here or whatever. Instead, they're probably just gonna try and kill the Terrorblade. The Hex over the trees. They got the vision. Can he get the shackles? Or can't really find the angle to get it. So they're gonna end up letting that one go. Or are they? Juggernaut moving forward. Just picked up the SNY thrown in on the courier. Drums, SNY, phase boots. Oh, this is such a classic build. Such an old school build on this jug. Alright. DeathBringer Gaming. Still looking toward. They're gonna get this tier 3 ish. They should just deny this, honestly. I mean, nah, actually let it go. Force them to come back. Somebody's gonna come here. You need to get some vision out though. You can't have a situation where the only aggressive ward, or even just ward in general in the mid lane, is a Radiant ward when your own tier 3 tower is this low on HP. You need your own wards in this area to be able to defend against the guaranteed push that's coming. I mean, this one ward is acceptable. It's okay, just because they know they've had a lot of their ancients stolen. Oh, never mind, gets dewarded. And they're gonna get scanned out as well during this 4-man smoke that they're trying to use to get out atop the map and secure some kind of advantage for themselves. Look where the Terrorblade is, guys. Check this out. TB's farming the enemy jungle. Almost has Manta. And this is how he's gonna find it. He's like, shall I find it safely? Nope. Let me find it in this fashion. And here they come. They're slowly but surely just pushing in this mid lane. They are going to be able to put pressure onto the tier 3 mid again. Okay, I get not denying the tower, but I don't get leaving it to be taken for free. Because now, mass circles are back off cooldown and they are definitely going to commit them. Fortunately for them, it's still early days. I can't believe it's only 18 minutes into this game. Still only level 1 Serpent Ward's Ice Path. Almost catching the Juggernaut, but the spin coming before that. RP coming in from Dolan with the Soul Binder as well onto both heroes. Omni Slash flying out onto both of them. They've already lost a tiny Shallow Grave TP out. Will it be there for the Terrorblade? No. Gets the Shallow Grave and the Sundo. If he's still alive for the time being. And now they're going to turn their attention towards trying to bring down the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut will die. Butterfly Effect opening the space with the Searing Chains and the Ice Path. They get the damage down onto the ground. Shackles now flying out onto Butterfly Effect. You're going to get Shallow Graved up by Bad to keep him alive for now. Metamorphosis is still going for the Terrorblade. They're going to turn their attention towards Sua. But here comes the Timbersaw on the backside of the fight with massive damage coming in with all his spells onto the Terrorblade. He turns his attention towards Jakiro as well. Jack will die. Sua does lose his life towards Dazzle, but Dazzle will still pay the price and end up going down. It's going to be a triple kill for the Timbersaw. But now here is Ember Spirit. Ember looking for this kill. There's no reactive armor, or it is there, but Timbersaw needs to escape very quickly right now. The mobility item from Butterfly Effect might not be able to close the gap. Yes, a remnant in 1 whole second. Can he get off the Steering Chain combo? He doesn't have the Slide of Fist to reach into the trees and get the stun. So the escape shall still be there for the Terrorblade. Oh, the Timbersaw rather. What a bloodbath though. 4 heroes dying on either side. Butterfly Effect does not go down, nor does the Timbersaw. Had Tiny respawned like 2 seconds earlier, I honestly think they would have been able to kill this Timber. But still, good fight for the side of IGV. They lose range racks in the mid lane, but they do not sacrifice the melee. And a core hero stays alive throughout all of this. And now Butterfly Effect, after having a torrid type of start. Oh, who have they found? Okay, bad. Now they're just zoning him back to Steelers Farm. The thing is though, right, when it comes to scaling for this game, the scaling isn't infinite for the side of DeathBringer Gaming. There will come a point where this lineup, I wouldn't say will peak, but no longer has a distinct advantage against the enemy lineup of IGV, especially when the Terrorblade is truly online and has like BKB. Because then at that point, yeah, already we're seeing that they're kind of struggling to kill this hero if the Timbersaw isn't there to lay out the mass damage with the Chakram and the Whirling Death and all the good stuff. So they need to keep the tempo going on the side of DeathBringer Gaming. They're going to find Butterfly Effect though. Does he have a Remnants out? He does. Oh, Dolem. The Mag thought about that RP, but decided against it. Hey! Robin, come on! Thanks for the follow, fam. Alright, second set of Mass Punos drop down into the mid lane. They want to finish this job. Tiny. A lot of this is on you, my friend. Can you prevent this? The spin from Jug will prevent the Ice Path from being able to cancel this out. Dolem will skewer back onto the Tiny. The Tiny is the big player here. He's going to lose his life. He buys back almost immediately. The racks are all going to fall, however. And IGV are in some kind of trouble, though. Juggernaut does get caught with the Ice Path. Where is the Tiny? They need the stuns. The Omni Slash will fly out. They're going to lose the Jakiro first and foremost. Then, oh my goodness, the blink away. The Juggernaut. How did he get out of there? What happened? Okay, did he just spin TP? I don't understand what happened there. But he suddenly was just gone. Grimstroke will get caught out and probably dies here. The Phantom Embrace does fly out onto Tiny. And now they do see that Timbersaw is nearby. They're not going to go for this. Ends up being a huge loss. They lose a lane of Rax in the mid lane. They buy back on the Tiny. And all they get out of it is a lowly Grimstroke kill. I mean, certainly it is the Tiny that gets that kill, so that alleviates some of the buyback burden that he had to take on in order to get that kill. But this is still pretty rough. Apparently you can. Apparently you can. Because it wasn't just me that saw that, right? Because I also saw him Omni Slashing. Okay. And then after Omni Slash ended, he was by his own shrine. That was very bizarre. Skewer onto Bad, Dazzle. I mean, you can shallow grave yourself, my friend, but I guess. Well, actually, that's good news. You force them to commit RP for you. That's 2 minutes, basically, that they can't really get any kills onto a lot of the other heroes. So, Ember Spirit's going to be happy about that. If Ember is alive, then Ember should not die in the absence of RP. As long as Ember has his head on his shoulders. Yeah! Wow, that's broken. TP Omni Slash. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? After that first lane, Roche is back online already, so they can try and secure this Aegis and Cheese. And they're reading this intention. They're going to go in and check right now. And now Juggernaut also has a DD rune for the next fight on the high ground. They're just going to take this Roshan with good old-fashioned right clicks and empower. Then afterwards, okay, they actually just activate the DD right now. So this is not going to take too long whatsoever. He got the attack speed talent at level 15. So Jug hits very fast, hits very hard. Net worth leader right now. Oh, speaking of the previous net worth leader, Timbersaw has now a full Lotus Orb. So yeah, basically impossible to kill. Because now not only can you, on yourself, right, not only can you jump into the fight with the Lotus Orb running, so people are afraid to use their spells on you. If you get Searing Chain, which is one of the only spells he's really scared of, just Lotus Orb. If you see this this Terrorblade about to sunder somebody, just Lotus Orb. It's pretty rough out here.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
Stroke of Fate flying through down the mid lane. Juggernaut taking down the shrine. So they have no more safety nets left outside the map either. No way that they can congregate around and try and make engagements happen. IGV 17k gold behind, almost 10,000 experience. So actually that's not so bad. Only being 10k experience behind when you're 20k gold behind, it's not so bad at all. But only having one hero, or only, okay, they have 3 heroes at 15. Okay, that's not so bad. Only it's the Tiny though that's lagging behind massively. Butterfly effect did get the additional searing chain. Wants us blink dagger quite badly so he can take fights, but he needs it like basically right now because the fight is about to happen. Wait, why did he remnant to where he remnanted to? He needed to go back to base. What is happening? IGV, why aren't you guys ready for this defense? Oh my god. Well, second laner Rax seems all but certain to fall right now. Doesn't seem like they are equipped at the moment. Okay, Tiny's gonna get avalanche. Or just a toss first onto the Juggernaut without the avalanche. So there's no additional damage. Range Rax already at half HP. They're gonna fall down right now. Timber Sword will Timber Chain through. They're sending some illusions forward. Ice Path once again connects onto Juggernaut. Butterfly effect looking for the searing chain. Only catches it onto the Jug, but Jug doesn't really care. Lays out the Mjolnir on himself. Now starts spinning. They've got the Range Rax. Melee Rax shall be soon to follow. And because of their positioning, IGV just will not prepare to try and actually defend against that. Butterfly effect does not have this blink dagger, so this is the Hail Mary item. This is the last roll of the dice. If this fight doesn't work out, then nothing can work out. Lotus Orb now casted out onto the Magnus. Dolem is gonna die very early on. The toss from the Tiny will be enough to deal the damage to kill him. And we do see now Searing Chains laying out onto the Timber Sword. Timber Sword only gonna get Ice Path himself. He's getting stunned up. But the shackles from the low ground onto the Terror Blade will allow him to get Omni Slash, and they're gonna get the kill onto the big bad TB. Embers, the Tiny though, comes back on their side of the fight to get the double kill onto both supports with the Avalanche Toss combination. So that's a triple kill for the Tiny. Now the jump back though for the Timber Sword going towards Django first on the Jakiro. Next to fall shall be our Dazzle. And Tiny did try to create some space here, but it's not going to succeed in doing so. Double buyback will come back from these supports. Butterfly effect goes in. Searing Chain onto these two heroes, the Tiny or the Timber Sword as well as the Jug. The last two heroes that remain, however, this could be a pretty big team fight win if they can somehow magically win this out and force them from retreating away from this. Avalanche will be out there onto the Timber Sword. Ice Path will catch him out as well, and they get the toss out. Butterfly effect looking for an opportunity to be able to use the Searing Chains. He's gonna maybe look towards going onto the Timber Sword. Maybe they want Juggernaut first, I don't know. Ice Path will catch the Jug first, and they avalanche him into the air with the toss as well. They get away the Aegis. Shadow Grave right now from Bat on himself was able to keep him alive from the Timber for the time being. Timber does end up dying regardless. Butterfly effect goes home to recharge his mana. He'll be back in a second. Ice Path catches onto two. Will this be followed up by the Searing Chains? No, RP will be there to catch onto the Terror Blade. The Terror Blade will gonna die before he's even able to use the Thunder. Butterfly effect doing the most, but there's just no damage from his team. There's not enough in the tank for Invictus Gaming Vitality. Seemed like they had the enemy in their clutches, but they just are unable to close it out. And the rest of the team now has respawned. They're all back into this. Inkswell might not trigger onto several heroes, but the shackles are enough to kill Butterfly effect in the absence of buyback. And the soul bind onto two heroes to use them up into the air. Both will die. It is now an extended team wipe. And in fact, it is the end of the game. GG, well played. DeathBringer Gaming take down Invictus Gaming Vitality 1-0 thus far in the first game of this BO2 set of the group stages. Alright, DeathBringer Gaming, guys. Yo, I mean, they've been slept. I know they've been slept on a little bit, but goddamn, they played some stellar Dota right there. And honestly, for a longer time, didn't really feel like they had a chance on IGV side. Were they ever actually ahead at any point in this game? Let's see. Nope, not a single time. Always playing from the back foot. From that first blood at the very beginning of the game, where Juggernaut was able to claim that first kill. Yeah, from there, the game was just like set. Look how far ahead both Jug and Timbersaw were from anybody else. Both of them cresting around the 20k mark. Their next closest challenger at 12 from the Terrorblade. Just an utter mismatch in terms of the hero abilities. Some heroes too strong, others not strong enough. So Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, between DBG and IGV will go the way of the DeathBringer squad. They just really played better. They made better lane decisions. Like the lane decision that they made firstly at the beginning of the game, for example, when after they sensed the lane swap from the Tiny, instead of first moving with the Tiny around and going to the Terrorblade lane, they first ensure the kill onto the Tiny, watch him TP back into lane before moving out again. Well, there's some really smart cerebral decision making made across the board by DBG. So we'll see if that is going to continue into the second game and they can get a 2-0 sweep over Invictus Gaming, or if IG will come back in some fashion and take us to a third game down the line. So ladies and gentlemen, that's game 1. Game 2 coming back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. If you haven't already, please make sure to follow the channel. You know, be cool, be like the bosses of the day. FJTV, Diablo 2849, Robin, come on. You guys have been great, you guys have been sweet, and we'll be back in just a moment. Game number 2 will be resuming in the offing here in the ANGGAME versus China playoffs. These are the group stages, 1-0 thus far. We'll be right back for game number 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 here in the ANGGAME versus China playoffs number 3. It's the third iteration of this tournament, and we have ourselves DeathBringer Gaming taking on IG Vitality in a best of 2 group stage to help determine who will be the top 4 teams that will proceed to the actual playoffs, and everybody else goes home with nothing. So, getting underway right now. IGV, we saw them get absolutely bodied game 1 versus DeathBringer Gaming. We'll see if anything is going to change in this instance, or whether or not it's just going to be a straight up 2-0 that they end up putting in favor or against, or in their own favor against the side of IGV. Right now, they led with the Dazzled Brewmaster as their opening 1-2 punch for DeathBringer. IGV had the first overall pick of the Tusk. They now get the Tiny. And they banned in the first phase the Grimstroke, the Rubik, the Undying. Now, second phase, they take away the Centaur. On the other side, we did see that DeathBringer Gaming banned out the Wisp, the Magnus, took out the Elder Titan, and now we'll be seeing what they're going to remove now. I really don't like, I actually don't like Tiny, right? And the previous game was sort of a reason why I'm not really about that hero. Primarily because as I was watching that hero and how it interacted and how it moved, and just the things the hero was doing, I kind of had a feeling ultimately that just this hero doesn't feel like it does as much if it doesn't have a really hot start anymore. Doesn't feel like it's the kind of hero where no matter what, I can guarantee I just have to show up, it's going to be great. It's always like, I don't know. Would you see, why is it taking so long with this next man? Just ban Shadow Shaman. If you're not going to ban Rasta, pick it yourself. You don't want to give away Rasta and Tusk and Tiny. I mean, I guess taking out the Void is fine, but I don't really see a situation where IGV would pick Void when you have Tusk and Tiny already. Kind of seems like it is difficult just to win with Void in general if you don't have damage into the bubble. Having 3 melee heroes to start off your game with, and you have Dazzle against the Brewmaster, yeah, I don't know.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Let's see. One thing I'm actually kind of worried about from IGV side, right? In the previous game, it just kind of seemed like they weren't really on the same page when it comes to taking team fights. One of the things that Tusk fixes in that regard is that Tusk forces the fight, right? You start the game, Tusk is fighting. Tusk rolls you in, Tusk makes magic happen for you. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to execute because you're not necessarily relying on everybody else being hyper aware of their positioning. You're all like, we're all snowballing to this one place, we're all going to do this one thing, let's make it happen, guys.
Dire team pick.
Anti-Mage, a second phase final ban for IGV. DBG will take out the Medusa. Medusa hit on me like I'm Illuminati. I kind of feel like right now, if I'm IGV, I also want some burst damage and some push. Maybe a Pugna might come out. DBG probably just wants more lane secure. I don't think they need to care too much about what's happening across the board with them. It's just like, I don't know, DBG felt kind of invincible in that previous game. I feel like they can pick the Terrorblade. Now that there's no Magnus, they should just pick up the TB themselves right now. TB Dazzle has still always been a great combination. Wow, 30 seconds of reserve time just for the third pick. What's it going to be? Jakiro. So we're going to have this combination of heroes again. Jakiro and the Brewmaster. Jakiro and Dazzle rather. In the previous game it was in the opposite team. This go around, they're definitely playing 4 Protect 1 on the side of DeathBringer Gaming. I would be deeply surprised if Terrorblade wasn't the final hero that they end up getting picked up.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I suppose one thing this does do is that it's really solid heroes overall. And in the absence of a hero like the Timber Sword that we saw in the last game, they don't have easy ways to just cleave through all their health. Also very much lockdown. Weaver coming out now. I don't really like this hero versus Jakiro all that much, personally. Nor against Dazzle. I mean, it can be okay. It's probably going to be the kind of game where you need to buy the Diffusal Blade. Diffusal can actually be quite useful versus the Brewmaster. If they're able to get on top of this hero with the Tusker and the Weaver, not only will the tag team allow them to burn a lot of mana, just toss up Tiny into the air, or if Tiny gets the Avalanche toss onto Brewmaster, a couple of hits from the Weaver, Brew has no mana, can't use ultimate, good times.
Radiant team pick.
DK. Alright.
Team back.
Alright. The DK pick, I think before this they actually had no easy ways to actually put damage onto towers in the absence of Jakiro running forward with the liquid fire that you need to spew onto the various buildings. So now that there's also solid lanes if you have the DK. Much more difficult for you to actually get zoned out. You don't lose the mid lane with this hero. You just sit there, tank things up, do well. Afterwards you'll run away. It's also another hero that if once they pick up a Blink Dagger or a Shadow Blade, it's an easy way for them to be able to get stuns out onto the map. So quick lockdown onto Weaver, Tiny, etc. Being able to set up for these Dragon Tail stun, for the Ice Path rather, that comes out from Jakiro. Oops, sorry, that was weird. I don't know where that came from. Alright, Huskar was the last ban. And we saw that the Huskar and Tyrant are the last bans respectively by either lineup. They still require a hard carry for Deathbringer. IGV need the same. Tiny's going, they need a lot of support actually. I'm gonna get Lich. Yeah, I don't know about this. I kind of really feel like they needed more team fight to end this off with. Lich does provide you some of that with the Chain Frost, but Lich's other abilities, I don't know. I mean, the Ice Armor is going to be nice, having reduced damage being put out, but right now they don't have that much physical damage on the side of Deathbringer. It's been mostly magical up until this point, but TB is probably going to change that. Or they get Drow. Okay. Okay. Alright. I have a feeling that DBG is going to win this game again. I really like this Jaw Ranger hero at the end of their draft. It gives them a silence against the Weaver, an easy way out. Once OD comes outside of the Astral, it's yet another easy way to silence that hero directly. Sure, it is possible. Like, it's a bit risky because you're picking this into Tusk and Weaver, two heroes that actually have ways to get atop the Drow directly without having to be ultimately concerned about running through the rest of the draft in between. But, and this is the huge but, the big caveat. This is the kind of game where killing Drow is going to be much more difficult than it seems. Because they have really good single target right now on the side of IGV. But single target does not against a Dazzle well play. So I don't know. I have a really strong fear about this. Oh, Farmer Fat Shappy. You just gave me an erection, bro. What's up, buddy? Happy New Year. You know, I'm still not on the... Please do me a favor and tell everybody on the group, bro. Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Yeah, but like seriously though, this draft, I mean, it is still possible, right? OG and Weaver can carry the game ultra late if they need be. But I just don't have that really good feeling about their prospect and their chances versus DK Drow. Especially because I'm not seeing how they easily kill DK this game. How do they kill BKB heroes? Once you buy BKB, if you're a DK, how do you die in this game? Just never go anywhere. Hey, New Year's greetings, bro. 2019 greetings. New things that are happening, you know, we're all out here making this magic. I'm just glad that there's Dota, dude. As long as there's Dota, I'm happy. You see there's going to become contestation around these bounty runes at top. Oh, they could have actually gotten themselves 3 for the side of IGV. Had Tiny just stuck around for this bottom one, he would have had 3 for his team. Oh well, it's not so bad. This is interesting though. They're beginning this game with a tri-lane that has a Lich within it. I don't see this very often. Normally you see Lich being able to dominate these dual lane scenarios. But it seems like, look at the switch up. They're putting the DK at top so that he can tank this awfulness that will be this tri-lane. Doesn't have to worry about dying when he gets snowballed upon. Doesn't have to worry about tag team because he probably won't die from it. And instead they put this Drow Ranger mid, who they know, because of the absurd attack range of the Drow is not going to get completely zoned out by an OD that has 400 attack range. So this Drow should be able to farm freely in the mid lane. You know, OD is faster, so OD can take advantage of that to be able to get right up on top of your face. Try to spam you out with some spells, astral you and all that good stuff. But because he's not playing up against a DK, he was expecting to dominate this matchup by just running forward, astral, right in a bad position where the DK would be. But Drow a little bit less susceptible to that. I think OD still has the overall advantage, but won't be able to dominate this lane. Erstwhile though, top lane, they actually killed the DK. Seems like tag team did come into vogue. They made use of it onto the DK, and DK does end up getting brought down. They use it again at top. I guess this is one of the reasons why they put the Tusker with the Lich. Tag team plus Frost Blast is a lot of damage. A lot of slows rather, and thus a lot of damage that gets dealt out onto the enemy team. So DK is going to have a really rough time here at top. Weaver should be able to get some free farm here. And you see at bottom, Tiny is also having a relatively decent time too. Thus far, he is playing 5-1 versus the 0-1 from DeathBringer. Yo, DeathBringer need to make some changes. Doesn't seem like this lane switch up has worked out that well for them. I mean, it's still early days. We'll see what ends up happening, but we might have a kill right now. Tag team now being used again onto the DK with the swarm bugs laid out onto him as well. The ice shield slowing him down. Now the ice shards preventing any possibility of escape. The DK will go down in the top lane. And that's the situation that they want to protect the Drow Ranger from. But in some sense, given that Drow, oh no, Drow's gonna die anyway. The snowball, not even required. They're looking for the tag team opportunity, but bad CP took a little bit too long on the Tusker. And the gust will be there from the Drow. She'll push everybody back. Ice shards can be used. Oh no, she's gonna die anyway. There's the tag team, more right clicks. And she's just trying to get some CS before she dies, but it's not going to be possible. And she'll just die regularly. That's a proper feels bad right there. To die in those set of circumstances. Very unhappy. Great rotation though from the Tusker. Simultaneously, we do see that they are able to kill the Tiny at bottom using the level 2 poison touch from the Dazzle. Wait, is Dazzle the one collecting the CS here? That seems to be the case. I was wondering why Brewmaster first is being played by Swa but has no CS at all. But that's because it's the Dazzle. It's offlane Dazzle, yo. Especially because OP, who used to play for IG back in the day, ends up losing his life again on the DK. And it's interesting. This is one of his best heroes generally. But this lane configuration is basically impossible to play. Especially now that Tusker has Snowball. You just show up to whoever, oh, it doesn't even have Snowball, just, but with ice shards in general, it's enough. Somebody who shows up to the lane dies. And I think he wants to try and hopefully collect this action rune. Oh no, they get the Astral out onto the Drow. The rotation from Swa will be here, but will it be enough to save the life of the Drow? Seemingly it will be. And the Tusk will just meander back around. Wow, Drow's getting bodied in this mid lane. Never mind. My earlier prediction was 100% wrong. He's getting eviscerated here. 20 and 10 versus a 10 and 6. And because the OG got boots first, I think this was really smart from Butterfly Effect to go for these boots as early as possible. Given that the way you're going to beat this hero, just running up and putting 2 points into the Astral as well. Very smart thing to do. Makes it much harder for this Drow Ranger to feel confident playing up aggressively in this lane. He might try to go for a kill onto the tiny bottom. There's level 2 into this spell of the Poison Touch, the toss back. He's trying to keep himself alive. The Shadow Wave will be there. They keep refreshing the Poison Touch. It's not going anywhere. We're going to have this kill onto the tiny, whether he likes it or not. One more right click is all they need. They don't even need it. The Poison from Guvara will just get the tick out. An offlane Dazzle. Right now, second most net worth in the game, I would imagine. Yep. Only being surpassed by this OD right now. There's going to be some contestation around this creep pool. How's DK doing? DK has had... What's really interesting is that DK Knight now has more CS than the Drow does. And speaking of Drow, she's dead. Gets snowballed again with the ice shards being there. Do they have the damage to kill her? Not before they first lose the Tusker. But that has the unfortunate domino effect of ensuring that Butterfly Effect actually gets more out of that kill than you would have otherwise. And they also manage, even without the Tusker, to just get the straight up kill onto the DK in the top lane. Weaver level is too high. Too much damage coming out. And DK, man, really having an atrocious time. 2 levels behind the Weaver right now, having almost no farm to his name. They need to try to find some way to... Wait, how did Dazzle die? Did Dazzle just die? So okay, no, Bad is here. This Tusk has been everywhere. Involved in 6 of his team's 7 kills. Jesus Christ. Has definitely been putting in that work. Might try to rotate middle to make more happen. I just want to try to get some vision out across the map. The Brewmaster's already done the same. Planted out this Observer Ward. They do not see the Tusk planting out his one though. Although they should recognize that the Tusk is nearby. Maybe I want to try to go for a counterplay here. Bad. Will now have vision onto Drow. Doesn't see that the Brewmaster is stalking him as well. Okay, the banishment will go out. They're going to try and find this kill. They're looking for the Drow Ranger. There will be a tag team that gets used off. And now Dolem though has shown up. They're going to try and get the OD instead. OD does get the kill first and foremost onto Camera, but that costs him his own life. He loses it out to the Guvara, Dazzle, and Dazzle might get a double kill out of this in fact. No, one more right click. What do you need? They got a little bit too greedy. Dolem wasn't able to use the Poison Touch onto the Brewmaster, nor is he close enough to use the Healing Wave, given that he thought that they'd found the kill with that last right click. OD does get a kill onto the Drow. The rest of the team, though, getting massively outsourced gold out of the kill onto that OD. Yeah, this Diatai is getting stomped, dude. It's pretty bad right now. Even if you just look at the net worth, might be a little bit premature for that. But the only hero that's doing well is this Dazzle. And even then, not doing that much better than the core heroes on the side of the IGV lineup. They're going to kill OP again. Is he going to die one more time? They potentially can do it. Weaver just cracked level 6. Okay, the stun will be there out onto the Weaver. The Ice Pot, though, will catch out onto Weaver. But this might not be enough to save his life. But it is enough to ensure that he's not going to try and get the jump onto the Dazzle. Erstwhile, down at bottom, we do see that the Dazzle does get the kill onto Myanmar. I mean, Drow does have level 6 right now, so has taken out some Ancients already using that marksmanship. The new broken spell, pretty stupid, honestly. The way the spell functions is kind of dumb, if I'm honest.
Radiant are scanning.
One concern I have is that as well as they've been doing on the side of the Radiant, we've yet to see actual tower damage in any of the lanes where they've been doing really well. Even though they've been dominating this early game in terms of their movements around the map, how much farm they're getting on individual heroes, as well as kills. I want to see that translated into actual map advantage, especially here at top, where OP has died 5 times, but his tower is still at full HP. If you die 5 times in a game, but your tower is still at full HP, you're like, okay, it's fine. I'm not happy about it, but, you know, I'll take it. He might die now, though, if they choose to dive him. They don't have a swarm bug available yet for another 15 seconds, but might not really care at this point. And he is being dove underneath the tower. The Dragon Tail stun will lay out onto the Lich. Dolem, will he be able to get the heals off with the Shadow Wave? He does, and also gets the Shadow Grave off. And we will see that they're going to get the Lich kill, Guvara. The rotation from this Dazzle, good enough to both save the life of the DK and ensure that there's a kill that happens in the opposite direction. And the lane that they abandoned is going to be left towards this Brewmaster. I mean, Brew's probably going to die now, though. Will he? No. Brew's fine. Snowballed upon. Okay, they're going to find him. The Ice Shards, will they be there? They do need to get them. He's still, how is he still alive on this Brewmaster? So much time has been wasted. The tree throw will be enough eventually for them to get the kill. But now, Dragon Tail will be there. Oh, no, no DK stun just yet. Not intent on using it. So they're unable to save the life of the Brewmaster, but they have rotated the DK down instead. That'll allow time for the Dazzle, excuse me. Why am I tripping over the hero names today? It's going to allow Guvara on this Dazzle to just sit up top, park there, finish his Necro Book. Try to do something useful across the map. They're going to perhaps try to bring down the Jakiro here. Do they have the damage before any reinforcements emerge? Not just yet. Brewmaster split will be in the offing. Butterfly effect, gotta be careful. Got the kill onto the Jakiro thanks to the Astral Imprisonment, but now might end up sacrificing his own life instead. Sua closing the gap onto him. There's going to be an Astral self-used by the OD, but that just puts him in the waiting arms of the Drow Ranger. That might have been a worse move overall. Might have been better to just give the kill towards the Brewmaster, because at least Brew, if he gets that big kill in the experience, he doesn't scale in the same way that the Drow will. Drow is slowly but surely catching up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And we've seen that this gold lead that they've accrued has sort of plateaued right now. It hasn't really increased in a while. They're going to try and force it to increase though. They smoke up, head towards middle. Guvara, ooh, Snowball will be on top of him, as well as the reveal of this Blink Dagger from the Tiny. And there's not going to be any usage of Shallow Grave by him. Myanmar will take the kill onto Guvara, bringing down this thorn in the side Dazzle, opening up space for them to try and claim this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. And they are finally taking buildings and taking structures across the map on the side of IGV. They managed to secure the top tier 1 tower. And we see the Weaver right now, after having gotten that tower, well on his way towards having the Desolator. The rest of his team, not only do they secure the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, they immediately head into the Radiant jungle, try and put some of their own spin on this, maybe get some vision out, but they just want to assert some dominance and control onto the dire side of the map as well. They have a Blink Dagger on Tiny. This Brewmaster's dead. Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Let's see. Can they find the DK? Oh, they can actually. The long range ice shots are there to catch him out. Although he does have the Shallow Grave nearby him. The okay Ice Path won't connect onto the Tusker, but the Dragon Tail stun will to interrupt the TP. And OP is able to find that kill. They have no way easily of closing the gap onto Butterfly effect, however. So they will allow him to just leave. Dude, he's playing really well. Like, Butterfly is playing really well. But honestly, I do think that Butterfly effect, he's going to go the way of Paparazzi. Remember when Paparazzi was part of IG Vitality? And he was by far their best player before moving or making a switch over onto Vici. I think Butterfly effect is in a similar category. Because, like, even look at that last game when he was playing Ember Spirit. He played much better than the rest of his team. Even though I didn't necessarily agree with his initial itemization, his movement across the map and the way he played was well above the rest of the squad. Also, soon he's going to have this Sanjay and Kaya, increasing the MS of this hero, making him that much more deadly. Before that, though, there is still time for DBG to fix their problems at the moment. They need a Blink Dagger on DK very badly. Shadow Blade won't cut it anymore. I think you definitely need the Blink. They need a Shadow Blade on Drow. She's almost got it. And they need a Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster. Brew is the furthest away at this point, given that this is a support Brew. They gave up the potential for Brew to get super big in order to get this early Necro book on the Dazzle. Dazzle already does have it. It's a pretty big kill to give towards Kama though. And that's a good spot for them to have parked up, waiting for any movement coming in from the enemy team. And Tusk obliges them happily. Shappy, bro, here's your stacks that are getting taken right now. Stacks get eliminated. Suddenly Drow, yeah, is the most farmed hero on the dire side of the map right now. And this 2k gold lead is not going anywhere. It keeps spiking up and down, but seems to be holding steady at this particular point in time. We do see a smoke right now. They are going to try and get some kills. Oh no, Drow cannot afford to be the one that leads this off. Okay, beautiful silence coming in from the Drow. Gonna immediately get this kill onto the Lich first and foremost, but the jumping onto the other side of the map going in from the Tiny will enable them to get a kill onto the Drow as well. Ice Path will be there to try and open up some space, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. Will they try and collapse and take this fight, or do they just let this one go? I think they're just going to let this go. Erstwhile, instead, Dolem at bottom is going to be fighting against Butterfly Effect. Butterfly Effect going to get surrounded by these Necrobooks. Can he get the TP out in time? He will not succeed in doing so. OD will die. And he's going to die first, so he doesn't even get the experience bonus out of Guvara. Guvara is the one instead that takes away 1,000 experience for this and 500 gold. Although simultaneously they do end up losing this Brewmaster at top as well as soon as the split ends up ending. Alright, so that does slow the game down a little bit, right? Them losing OG on the other side of the map, and even though they got this kill onto this Brewmaster, their positioning right now where they are on the map doesn't make it easy for them to keep this aggressive tempo going. So is he going to be able to find the next D ward? Oh yes, he will. They're going to take everything out. They won't be able to find the third ward. Man, they committed 3 wards for this. That's actually a lot of vision that they spent here. Does Drow have her Shadow Blade? She's en route. Has the Shadow Amulet at the very least. And the lane that she has taken solace in right now still does have a tier 1 tower, so it's harder for the IGV lineup to make use of the inroads around where this tier 1 tower is to try and catch out this Drow as she's farming the Dire Triangle. They might find this Lich. Yeah, Lich is gonna die here. Lich is definitely gonna try. Will they get the silence off? Yeah, Lich is just gonna die straight off the bat. But there's nothing to find here. This is unregrettable. They made a huge 4-man rotation here. Both with the Drow walking straight up into the lane as well as the DK, Jakiro, and Brewmaster all smoked up. They might find Butterfly Effect though. What a time to be alive! But look at his positioning. The blink will be revealed right now by the DK. Going to be followed up with the Ice Path. They're going to be able to easily find this killer, especially because he used Astral on some creeps. He's going to go down right now. Bad. Showed up to maybe try and give some assistance, but he's instead going to give up his own life as well. He's going to die almost immediately afterwards. Ice Path laid down to prevent any follow-up kills. Chain Frost will come out right now. Dragon Stun will lead onto the Weaver. Chain Frost will at least get the kill onto one. No, Ice Path will be there immediately afterwards. Will they get the stun out onto Weaver before he's able to run away? The time lapse saved him once. It will not save him twice. OP at the same time was able to use his right legs to bring down the Lich And DeathBringer Gaming, now the game's even. They have brought the death, they have brought the destruction, and they brought themselves back into an even situation. Tier 1 tower in the mid lane will fall, and we now see that DeathBringer Gaming in fact have the gold lead. What a rotation, and they did all of that without even the presence of the Drow Ranger. Taking 4 kills, the only person not to lose their lives there was the Tiny, I believe. Everybody else falls, giving a huge influx of gold towards the side of DeathBringer Gaming. OP in particular, I think, is the big standout beneficiary of that entire engagement. Not only is he present directly when they get the kill, only is he the one that gets the kill onto Butterfly Effect, but also manages to bring down Django and gets the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Lots of experience and gold for him. Now suddenly look, it's the Drow that's at the very bottom of the core farming situation from the side of DeathBringer Gaming. There's a counterplay available though. Invictus Gaming Vitality don't want to they want to make it clear that they might have lost that fight, but they're not going to take that shit lying down. They're only probably going to lose Jakiro here. I'm not sure if they even lose both. The Jack is definitely dead. Let's see if more will happen. Snowball forward, Jakiro will die, but now Bad is in a really bad position. But it doesn't seem like they want to force an engagement either on the side of DeathBringer Gaming, and they're willing to let this one go. Dazzle wasn't in position to take that fight. Interestingly, Dazzle went for power treads instead of going for the arcane boots so he can get into the Guardian Greaves a little bit faster. Just gonna go for the mech Greaves directly. It's fine. And they're gonna try to sneak a Roche off of the back of that play. Do they have the damage? They do have the damage. Whether or not they have the time is uncertain, but it does seem like that's going to be the case. Okay, Drow is going to go invis. It's late. It's late, they're gone. We check Drow right now. Sitting pretty and flush, trying to finish off that Yasha. A lot of money has been spent right now by both teams actually, just in terms of vision. Like a lot of sentries have been purchased this game. Oh wait, by the way, how far is the Weaver's BKB? Almost has it. Just needs the recipe at this point. It's going to be a very crucial BKB because they don't have any BKB piercing disable on the side of DeathBringer Gaming. And also, man, their tower taking potential. That was absurd how fast they did that damage. Between the Echo Saber on the Tiny and the Desolator on the Weaver, it's a lot of damage. Bad is going to die at bottom. Feels bad, man. Camera's going to be the one to pick that one up. And they also got the tier 2 out of this. They lose their own tier 2 in the top lane, but, you know, these are the kind of trades that you're perfectly willing to make. They might want to think about and consider buying a gem soon. Yeah, I think gem could be useful in this kind of game. Might be nice. So the game slowed down a bit. OD's BKB is coming soon as well. Actually has it. Can have that sent out. Blink BKB with Aegis. We see the Weaver has BKB Deso and the Tiny has Echo Saber with Blink Dagger. No BKB in the offing yet, but you know, we'll see. The game is still a wild step away from concluding. Do you see a smoke with DK helping to lead the charge with his own BKB and Blink Dagger? Suha is the one that's right behind them with the ultimate available on this Brewmaster. It's level 2 at the moment. Looks like they're tired of getting ganked though on the side of IGV. Look how carefully they're playing right now. They're like, we have no vision on the map. We don't see them in their jungle farming. They're clearly not pushing out bottom. Sure, there's some heroes at top, but it's not enough for us to conclusively go and take that fight. Butterfly Effect still needs to be careful here. Butterfly Effect, my friend, be careful, be careful. He's dead. If he comes like here, he's dead. Okay, no, they're gonna let him go. I feel like they should take those fight. Guys, look how easy this kill is to get. They're going to go onto the tiny rather. Snowball will be there. Butterfly Effect blinks onto the backside of the fight. They will pop a Smoke of Disease. BKB now will be popped by Butterfly Effect. He wants to try and keep this fight going. They're going to turn their attention towards the draw danger damage. They will be able to banish her so that the Grave TP will not complete. They do get the first kill onto Django. Next to 4 will be the Draw Ranger. Then they get Firefly to follow that up with next. The Brewmaster split is still going. They're looking towards trying to bring down this tiny. But the Brewmaster split will now end. And he is going to be a dead man for sure. And they end up losing everybody except for both Guvara as well as this OP DK. I feel like they made a huge mistake there. Sure, OD did have Aegis as well as BKB. But starting a fight on a tiny that's right behind a snowballing Tusker. Yeah, they actually got less out of it than they would have if they just tried to take the Aegis. Because now, because Aegis is still in tow, they can play very aggressively still. Try perhaps to take the tier 2 tower or even go onto the high ground. They're going to jump now, stun onto the Weaver. Will they be able to find this kill before the time lapse? Yes, they do. And I don't think that's the end of it. I think Bad is going to die as well. Icepath will catch him in the midst of the attempted TP out. And they still manage to defend their tier 2 tower in the mid lane. That's pretty huge. Who got the kill onto the... Okay, it was Firefly. They should be the ones able to get this tier 2 tower now themselves. Given that they have this DK that's still in ultimate mode. Drow is right here, giving you all that attack speed, that precious attack speed. Thank you very much. Let's see how fast this tower is going to fall. And they still have this Necro 3 book from the Dazzle. And Firefly able to get that kill on the tower. Both sides can actually do pretty well to take down structures. It's a little bit easier to do from the side of DeathBringer Gaming without having to commit bodies. That's still possible. Weaver now looking towards getting that Lincoln Sphere, recognizing that BKB might be nice, but it doesn't help if you get insta Dragon Tail stun and then die regardless. Can't cost the BKB. So definitely will need some time to engage in that particular item on the map. He's gonna try to pick up some Necrobook gold. He's got 5 seconds to do this. Is he gonna get? Guess the one. Yeah, 200 gold, worth it. Hashtag worth. They don't have the Aegis now though. It has expired, and Butterfly Effect will be mortal for the time being. Gonna be looking to build this Hex. Get this Sheepstick going for his team. Almost level 20, so can then get the additional strength. Makes his hero a lot more difficult to actually kill. This is actually interesting that Tiny got the avalanche damage rather than the health. Obviously Weaver got the mana break. I mean 20 might not be that much in the absence of having the diffusal blade, but it's still 20 mana. Can still make a difference. Marginal as it may be, it can still make a difference. DK get the damage, the Jakiro got the attack range, and look at the Dazzle actually got the cost range instead of the heal. Okay, now the jump forward, they're going to go into Butterfly. Snowball there immediately for the save, but the Ice Path will catch out at least onto our snowballing Tusker, and Tusker will die, but the rest of the fight is still en route, ongoing. The Yule Scepter, or not the Yule Scepter, the Storm Panda will toss up the Lich into the air. Lich now is in danger of dying before he can even use the Chain Frost. BKB now used by the DK as well as by the Weaver. They're trying to get into this fight. Buybacks will be there from everybody, but look at the damage now. Rod of Atos thrown out onto the Tiny. Tiny's going to be in a world of trouble right now. The Solar Crest will bring on all his mana, all his armor is going to be taken away, and he's going to die, but the Sanity's Eclipse gets 2 kills immediately for Butterfly Effect, bringing down the DK as well as the Brewmaster. Chain Frost still bouncing around. Now the blink forward by Butterfly Effect, able to get himself a triple kill, looking for the Ultra since he banishes Jakiro and prevents the TP away. Will they give him the Ultra? No, Django, fuck you, you took away the streak. but they get the defense. It does cost the double buyback, cost the initial life of the Tusker, and a buyback onto the Tiny. But the fight, 1,000 gold for OD. Butterfly Effect now has the full sheepstick, and Roche regrettably is not about to respawn, but they will have the ability to take down the tier 2 tower in the mid lane, complete their work in this instance. Man, that fight really could have gone south for the, but Butterfly Effect with the ultimate. Okay, they're gonna jump onto this Dazzle. Dazzle should die here. No, he's fine. Has Mech, Solar Crest. He's gonna be okay. The jump in right now by the DK directly onto the Lich. Lich is gonna end up losing his life. And what are they doing? IGV, just take the tower. Oh my god. They have this Weaver hero and they decide they want to try and jump a Dazzle on the backside of the fight with the Tiny instead of just taking the tower. That was so bizarre. Had they merely taken the tower, they would have, you know, had a tower right now. Instead, they have now not taken the tower and they've given up control around the Roshan pit itself, so that in the next minute when Roche respawns, it's definitely going to be DeathBringer themselves that are in a better position to try and take this Aegis.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Ugh, I keep forgetting to change the third overlay. Whatever. We do see now, jump in, they're going to go onto the Tusker. Tusker is just going to get melted. That's Solar Crest. And that's also a dieback on the Tusk. Oh no, they come in with the Weaver, going to reveal himself in this fight. BKB will be popped. Hex will be used onto the Brewmaster to prevent the ultimate from coming out from him. But now they're just chasing down onto Firefly. Buyback will be there for the Brew. They get the Shallow Grave out onto the DK, onto the Jakiro rather. Ice Path will now go out into catching the Weaver. Weaver will die thanks to that Ice Path. Firefly changing the game for his team. The buyback was there from the Brewmaster. Brew will get the split off. They get the Ice Pop now out onto the Tiny. Tiny going to be in huge danger of dying. Hex has been thrown out onto the DK, but there's now a secondary Shadow Grave that will come out. Kama will find himself getting immediately Sanded is eclipsed up by the OD, but OD is going to be in trouble himself right now. Going to end up losing his life on his own high ground right now, surrounded by the Ice Pop as well as the dragon damage from the DK. And OP able to find that kill, ending a monster kill streak on the OD, winning the team fight. They get a dieback out from the Weaver, so it's actually a full team wipe that they managed to succeed at getting there. Oh no, Rod of Atos now will be laid out onto the Weaver. Ice Path will follow him. They want to get off this Dragon Tail stun. They didn't have the vision at the time, but now they do. Blink forward with the DK. They get the stun, they get the dieback, they get the kill. 6 heroes gone down for this fight. Only cost them a single buyback, as well as the life of the Draw Ranger. But now they should be able to secure this Roche, and it's a dieback on Weaver. So a huge amount of gold that this hero will no longer have access to in the future. This Lincoln Sphere is going to take a while to show up. Okay, jump in from the Tusk. He really wants to try and steal this Aegis. Unfortunately, yeah, not going to happen. Mian Mian, sorry bro. SARS fam, not going to happen for you today. As a result of that particular death, feels like they have the confidence to just try and storm down onto these lanes. Well, they don't even need to. They're now actually really ahead. Sure, OD might be the net worth leader in this game, and sure, OD might be able to one-shot the Drow, but Drow is 100% completely inconsequential towards this game. Just exists to give attack speed, really. Like the DK has got this. DK and Dazzle really have got this. They'll be okay. Dazzle is about to, it appears, buy a pair of Guardian Greaves. They're complete now, which basically means that this hero will never die again. At level 20, did end up getting the additional move speed, which is a good thing, because this hero can be slow as molasses, and you don't really need the additional Poison Touch DPS. At this stage, Poison Touch has more to do with its slow and refresh potential rather than the raw damage it deals. And besides, look at this cooldown. 9-second cooldown. It's like whatever. Weaver is just been falling further and further behind as this game has been extending. not been given the opportunity or potential really to be able to showcase his talents. He just keeps dying. It's BKB, it's just not enough to keep you alive. Needed Lincoln Sphere as well. They need to actually, frankly speaking, they needed to get more done when they had that initial power peak. When they had the BKB come out at the same time as the Desolator. They needed to win 2-3 fights in a row. And crucially, they didn't need to fuck up that mid push where they weren't able to get the tier 2 tower. DK with the Aegis. I like his atomization, right? The fact that he goes for the Daedalus shows that he understands he's playing with a Drow Ranger on his team. So you don't have to worry about like the ACs or whatever. You just get things that'll hit hard and hit as much as possible. He's even gonna go straight for the Hyperstone, or the Moonshot rather, double Hyperstone. It's like, why should I trouble myself? I just want to do damage, man. This Daedalus will help me hit things very hard. I hit very hard, so let me hit things very hard. We will see the DK, whose smoke will get popped by the Lich. They will not be able to move into the enemy side of the map and find like the OD or whatever. We do see, oh, they find Drow. I mean, Drow, is she gonna get out of this? Let's see. Snowball's coming forward at her. The Ice Shards will catch her out. There will be a huge ice path that catches onto 3 heroes, and there's gonna be a shallow grave as well. How is this fight gonna break out? There isn't gonna be a 4-star. Okay, you're gonna get tossed into the air. She is gonna die before that's gonna be important. Swan on the backside of the fight is looking to be able to find the Lich. Will succeed in doing so. The fight not done just yet. They're jumping forward, looking towards the Dazzle. Dazzle managed to get off the shallow grave. He's fighting right next to a shrine right now. But here comes big bad DK. DK, one shot is able to bring down the Tusker. Ice path will be laid down, which catches on to both core heroes, the Weaver as well as the OD. No, Weaver will find himself getting stunned up right now by the BKB. DK, oh no, unable to find the kill. Insanity's Eclipse will be there to pop the Aegis of the Immortal. IGV having the revenge at last. Sua is here but doesn't have the ultimate available for himself. The fight will be going on to this OD. Will they be able to find this kill? No, she's going to get popped up by Butterfly Effect. He's going to be staying alive for the time being, and instead they're going to surround the DK and find that kill. So this fight finally going the way of IGV. They're going to get Sua as well. There was a buyback on the Jakiro, so that's a full team wipe. And that's also a dieback from the Roshan fight well back then when the Brewmaster died. So he's in the grave for 100 seconds right now. Look at that gold change. Almost 7,000 gold ended up changing hands. 2,000 gold into the Tiny's hands, 2,000 gold into Weaver's hands, 1,000 gold into the OD's hands. All these 3 cores very happy with that state of affairs. They managed to bring what was approaching an 8-9k gold lead to 0. Now game's even again. And all of that off of the basis of them trying to save the life of Kama. If they just cut their losses, acknowledged his death, would have been one thing. But they kept trying to fight around him. Probably feeling, well, we've got this Aegis, guys. We can try and make something happen. Bottom, we also see Jakiro feels bad, regrettably gets his TP cancelled away. So, probably going to lose his life here. Still alive for now. And they jump on him. There's the Walrus Punch. However, there is a Jakiro here, and there's a Dazzle. Dazzle will have Shallow Grave soon. Not going to be able to use it, though, because they get the kill onto the Jakiro so quickly. Dolan, Okuvara, does get off the grave on himself on the backside. Kama was there with the Gust. Dolan kept alive still for the time being. Bad. Oh my goodness, you went a bit too far forward, my friend. End up losing your life right now. Be kind of careful in this situation. You see Guevara healing up like a champion. No, the Drow Ranger are going to get caught. Will there be a shallow grave to keep him alive? Yes, there will be. The actual imprisonment will still come out, so that pretty much guarantees that the kill will be there onto the Drow, and Drow does end up getting brought down. Buyback will be there from the Drow Ranger. We do see Dazzle fighting with Guevara on the backside here. Who's going to die first? It's going to be the Tiny, of course. Because of the presence of this Guardian Greaves, they get popped. Much more difficult to kill this Dazzle. Dazzle survives. They do still claim this tier 1 tower, but with the buyback from the Drow Ranger, it's economic damage I can live with if I'm playing on the side of IGV. What a game this is, actually. This game too. So even. Drow needs BKB very badly. Yeah, she's queued it up. Did just finish off the Manta style, so it does have some space. And then the ability to be able to try and make that happen. COD out here using that equilibrium to make sure that these creep waves in the middle are cleared out as fast as possible. There's no more advantages from the Roshan available on the field. DK is building Nullifier. That's interesting. He really is playing. When they swapped around their mid and the safe lane, I thought they were just doing that for the laning phase. But they were doing it legit. Like, he's actually playing pause 1 this game. And Drow is playing the more, hey, get attack speed and stay alive, bro. And I'll do the damage. Don't worry about it. Dazzle getting closer and closer towards having the sheep stick. I think they recognize that they need more disable. Just more ways to control the fight. Right now they're relying very much wholesale on the Jakiro with the Ice Path and the Macropire, as well as this Brewmaster. But they have nothing beyond that. So having as many tools of control as possible. Looks like at the top side of the map we saw IGV just looping around this region of space, unable to really find anything. Drow Ranger will leave behind some Manta illusions to just keep this lane pushed out. But by the time they search for the real hero, she's long gone. It is now 40 minutes, so we are officially starting to enter the period of the game known as the late game. Once you get these double action runes, yeah. We did a double, yeah, they already started, yeah. Haste and regen. For me, I think that's one of the best signifiers for when the late game is about to begin. The next place that a fight is going to break out is going to be this Roshan pit, y'all. I have a minute to go until the big bad boy respawns and tries to do some stuff. Certainly. So the only heroes that don't have buyback are the DK, who's short on money, the Drow, who's short on time, and the Jakiro, who's short on time. In a nutshell, they only have 2 buybacks available on the DeathBringer gaming side. The Dazzle as well as the Intrepid Brewmaster, who's been, I wouldn't say struggling this game, but there's a lot that's been asked of him. He's been asked to contribute a whole lot to their team fighting abilities that he might not always be able to do alone, which is part of why the rest of his team is building so many items that'll help in that regard. Is the Nullifier finished yet? No, we still have the Nullifier being built. The Sheepstick is done though. So now Dazzle doesn't have buyback either. Expended all his gold. I suppose they feel that, well, if the DK and Drow don't have buyback, then there's no point in the rest of us having buyback. Might as well spend our money. And we see Jakiro Firefly trying to buy some kind of defensive item. He's considering whether he should buy a Sheepstick or 4-star for the Glimmer Cape. Gonna opt for the Glimmer Cape. There is still no gem on the enemy team, although basically everybody's carrying dust. No, literally everybody's carrying dust, except for the OD actually. But here is the Roche. The courier is gonna die, but they know the fight is happening. Do they still want to go for this? Brewmaster will try and split, but unfortunately gonna get caught out. The Shallow Grave will be there to enable the split. No, there's also gonna be an Astral Imprisonment that's gonna come out there. BKB now popped by the DK, trying to turn his attention towards anything this fight towards the Lich. Lich is gonna die very quickly off, and the Chain Frost is still bouncing though. They first get bad as well as Lich, and both of them are gonna buy back, as well as the Brewmaster already bought back already. Brewmaster split will now finally come out. Firefly on the backside of the fight will help them to get this kill onto Butterfly Effect. Butterfly Effect will have to buy back. So will the Tusker. Now we see Drow Ranger here putting the damage out onto the Tiny. They also silenced the Weaver and killed him as well. He did not expect randomly the Drow showing up, getting the silence off. They get that fight kill. The only hero that can't buy back on the side of the Radiance is this Weaver, and as a result he has not, but the Roche is very low. It is 4v4 around the pit. There's gonna be a Hex out now coming out onto Tiny. Tiny, is he gonna die from this one? First they get the kill onto Mian Mian. Mian Mian is gonna be brought down. BKB has been popped by Butterfly Effect. Butterfly Effect, can he steal away this Aegis? It's still on the ground. Nobody's picked it up just yet. Sua is the one that grabs it. Aegis of the Immortal will be picked up by the Brewmaster. Cheese, I don't know who picked that one up, but unfortunately OD couldn't find the gap to get on top here. Now blink forward by the DK. Look at the damage onto the Lich. It's gonna be a triple kill for the Dragon. Oh my goodness. This game is this is just incredible actually. So many wild things are happening right now. A ton of gold going the way of this DK. He dealt 5,000 damage in that fight. And now because it's a full team wipe, they're gonna get Megas. They're gonna try and end the game actually. Who wants to worry about Megas? You've got Necro Books with you. You know they don't have buybacks. You've got this DK. That's just GG. Oh my goodness. Off of one single fight, Sua went forward, draws their attention, forces them to take the engagement onto him as the Brewmaster. They kill him, but he just buys back. And now the rest of his team were able to immediately turn that advantage into a win for the fight and a win of the game. And DeathBringer Gaming managed to take Invictus Gaming down 2-0 here in the ANGGAME C versus China Chinese qualifiers. Man, what? Just I'm legit just impressed by DeathBringer here. I think they show a lot more character than I thought they would, given the type of team they are. But man, what a squad. What homies. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Very topsy-turvy game that literally came down to a single fight. If that single fight goes differently, the game is still going. But because it goes as it does, the game ends. So ladies and gentlemen, that is that. IGV take down the side, or get taken down rather, by the side of DeathBringer Gaming 2-0 here in the Chinese qualifying group stages for the ANGGAME versus C competition. It's going to come down later. Once we determine the first or the top 4 teams, they'll play in their playoffs, and then we'll see who's going to be the Chinese representatives to go forth and take on some of these C squads, playing them on the internet. But so for now, thanks guys for being by. Let your friends know. If you haven't already, please make sure to be cool. Be like Diablo2849, Robin, come on, as well as FJTV for coming through with the follow. You guys have been pretty great. So for me, from now, I'll be gone. Probably be back tomorrow morning from some more Dota 2. But stay fresh, stay amazing. Go watch the Alliance game, because my homie Potter is the one that's organizing all of that. So go check out that Loot Bet Winter Madness thing, whatever, and enjoy life. I'll check you guys in the future for more Dota 2 action. Peace out, and bye.